Good bye week. I like the way the kids handled it. Pretty much standard operating procedure for us through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The kids are off tomorrow, except for academics. Saturday they're off, Sunday they're off, except for academics, and we'll come back, and Monday will be a normal game week Tuesday for us. So we're ahead of the game, obviously, with the bye week, and kids did a nice job of handling it, I thought. Coaches were gone for a couple days on Tuesday, Wednesday, a lot of the coaches, not all of them, but got some good work done and some early prep, and young guys had a good week. They had a couple times where they got to bang around at each other, and it's good to have enough young men this year to be able to have those scout scrimmages. It's going to make us better in the future.
Can you guys go out this weekend and recruit at all? Or no?
Yeah, we got coaches leaving as we speak, so the airport's pretty full of Badger coaches at this moment. Moving on out, they'll be back Sunday afternoon.
Gary, at the end of the Western Illinois game, you had your backup line on offensive line on the field. You had Mayer still at left tackle, and Dan, I think, at center. I know it looks like Walker. Do you know when he's going to be back? And also, are you trying to do something to save Dieter there?
Yeah. First of all, I expect Walker back Monday. Yeah. Secondly, we would love to save Michael, but we're so early in the season. It's just if it all works out at this point. Taiwan has a hand injury, and he'll be out for, hopefully back for the second or third Big Ten game, I would say. That's maybe a little bit hopeful on my end, but I think that's when we'll get him back. And then we'll have to make a decision what to do from that point on. Do you put him in a position to be able to play, or does he sit back and redshirt? So one would lean to think you would redshirt him at that time, but a lot depends on where we are with the other two kids.
Where is Kinlaw in that equation?
Kinlaw he'll redshirt for sure.
He is going to
yes,
redshirt.
he will definitely
sure.
redshirt. Yep.
Does that leave you in a tough position, Gary, with only two healthy scholarship tailbacks?
Yeah, it does. We hope, obviously, we recruited two kids to hopefully get a backup, but Dare's going to move over there and do a little bit for us, and he's learned the position a little bit this week, and then Leo may move over there in certain situations when Leo gets back on the field, not full time, but to possibly just take some reps, and in a real pinch he could potentially help out there. But Dare's going to move over there. But there's not a lot of numbers to go around at this point.
We talked about your two fullbacks being down. When do you expect Strauss to maybe come back?
Yeah, well, I talked to him the other day, and he's, I'd say 3 weeks away. That's, again, I'm not a doctor, but he said he feels good, moving in the right direction, and is ahead of schedule. But, he's a tough kid. They all get ahead of schedule at that point. The tough one's just the hard part is making sure they're back when they're ready to go.
Gary, how challenging of a position was that to learn fullback? Especially, and the reason I ask is because a lot of these kids didn't play that in high school. They were converted tailbacks, basically. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to it mentally, and there's a lot to it physically. It's an unselfish position. So a young man that's had the ball in his hands 15, 20 times a game, he's got to be able to understand his role and adjust to that. So I think there's a lot of difficulty to deal with when you get in that spot. Austin's had no issues at all. Understanding, he was recruited as a linebacker. He came in and played some tailback obviously in spring, but he knows his role as a fullback and has adjusted very, very well there.
How concerned are you with your lack of depth at tailback right now? The injuries that you've got at fullback.
Well, it is worrisome. It all looks good right now with the first two guys, and we all surely hope that that's the way it stays for throughout the season. But we got to be very smart. We will definitely, next year we'll have those two other young men there, but our goal is to have a minimum of 7 running backs on scholarship. And, in the state of Wisconsin, we'd always like to be in a position to have 1 or 2 young men as walk-ons that are going to move themselves up the ladder to either be fullbacks or potentially tailbacks as we go forward. So we got to be real careful. We got to make sure we do all we can to help those numbers as we continue to, move through. We've had we got 4 backs out, so that's tough to deal with.
Do you ease back with Corey and Melvin in practice? Does this affect how you're going to, how much work they'll get in practice?
No, I don't think it really. There's so much scout team going on right now, and those kids still need to get into positions to go against the best sometimes, just for a few pops throughout the week. So I wouldn't say we wore them out before, and we're surely not wearing them out now either.
As far as Tanner is concerned, from what you've seen, what do you think is a better indication of what to expect from him for the rest of the year? Is Is he more like the quarterback he was in the first half against Western Illinois or the second half? From what you've seen.
Well, whatever drive that was, the fourth drive, let's hope it stays down those lines. But I think he's, I like the direction he's heading, and I think he's a good quarterback. I think all our quarterbacks are good quarterbacks. So to answer it one quarter to the next or a half to a half, I thought he was very stable. He got into a groove. His offense helped him. The offensive line, pass protected. We did some very nice things in the throw game to make some contested balls that were caught. And that's what a good quarterback gets when he plays well. A quarterback doesn't play well, he isn't protected, and his receivers don't catch contested balls. So, I think we're in a good spot. We just got to keep on battling through it with all of our quarterbacks.
Do you have any update on Joel, or is he still just doing individual work at this point?
No, Joel was out a little bit today with us. He was involved in some team drills. He, again, has a tremendous attitude, smile on his face. He's working through it. I personally see progress. I think Joel sees progress, and that's a great thing to see.
Is he seeing someone between healthcare?
I don't know. You have to ask the trainers that one. I don't know what he's doing as far as what he's seeing. I know he's getting outside communication with some people, is my understanding, but I don't know the in-depths of it. I don't know how far it's gone. I'm just trying to help him through.
Do you have to know his circumstance before you go into a game? I mean, if he comes up to you during a game and says, I can play if something goes down, or do you need to know in advance his availability and what his status is?
Oh, I think Joel is, number one, is a great communicator, and I think he'll know. I think we'll all have an idea of when he feels comfortable, and the bottom line is it'll show in practice. Just like I think Joel's communicated to you guys, and I know he's communicated to me as coach. I know that I have to be able to practice the right way, and yourself, the team, the coaches, myself has to understand when I'm ready to go. And he's working like crazy to get to there. And again, I see improvement.
Gary, Kenzel the last couple of years has been very solid on kickoff returns, but sometimes on punt returns, the security isn't there. Are you to the point where you might start looking at a second option there, or you still give him a little bit?
No, I think Kenzel, that in the last game, there's a couple things that go into that equation, and not by any stretch of the imagination an excuse. We want to catch everyone cleanly and field it. He's has fielded the ball very well throughout camp, throughout spring. It was a left-footed kicker. We have a hard time emulating that in practice. It is much different. And the kid hit a couple bombs that came straight down on top of him, and that ball does rotate a little differently. So, Kenzel's the first one to know he wants to catch everyone clean, and he expects to catch them clean. But me personally, I'm comfortable with Kenzel back there.
Who would be number two if
Alex. Yep, Alex is hot back there, and he's got the maturity, and he'd walk back there and I think do a nice job also.
Going back to Tim Long, is that your decision that he wanted to redshirt, or is it his?
It's a time frame of the injury, just the rehab of the injury. He's in a position to where I guess we would say similar to what Joe Ferguson had a year ago, I guess. Joe came back through spring, was in spring, didn't push him, and he's done very well with that. So that's kind of the time frame that the docs see on that and have suggested for us to follow.
Is it frustrating ever as a coach in the Big Ten to watch teams like Michigan State go out to Oregon and lose, and watch Ohio State? Do you tend to root for the other teams when they're playing in the out of conference, just in terms of that way the conference is in good standing with the rest of the country?
Boy, I think you should. That's just my opinion. You should live in the moment for the position that you're in, and we're all part of the Big Ten Conference, and if our teams are playing, I think we should definitely cheer them on and want them to be victorious, because we're all, at the end of the day, we're all in this thing together, and it does help us. It helps us nationally. It helps us in recruiting. Helps our image. And we all know, it's taken a little bit of a hit so far this year, and I think we would all sit back and say we would like to see a couple of those games swing the other direction. And, ours is one of those also. The first game we played against LSU.
You've got a bye this week while Bowling Green plays. Do you think there's a big advantage for the team that has the bye, or is that overrated?
I don't think it's a huge advantage. I really don't. I like the spacing of this bye for us just because of the youthfulness of the team, but I would say that if it was week 9 too. I don't think it's a tremendous advantage. We use it and try to make it be an advantage, but I've never walked off and said, man, just because we had a bye week, we sure played well, or we didn't play well.
You mentioned coaches taking off for the bye week. What are you doing for your bye week?
I'm gonna sit at home Saturday, wake up, Probably jump in the hot tub, hang out, and watch a whole bunch of football. And get lost in about 18 games, right? The 11 o'clock game I'm going to watch a lot. So I'm going to watch that one, Bowling Green, Indiana. I'll watch every snap of that one. But after that, I'll be watching so many games. Stacy will be yelling at me by 4 o'clock. And
drag the TV outside? The hot
no, the hot tub's inside.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I learned that last year. As you guys would know today, a hot tub inside would be a good thing, right?
So, talking about Raphael, what do you think he's brought to the team in terms of his skill set and his personality?
Well, he brings a lot of enthusiasm. I think he brings a confidence. You know, he's not real happy. They missed one in the last game, but he has a little edge to him that sometimes kickers have, sometimes kickers don't. Just like sometimes an offensive lineman does or an offensive lineman doesn't. But he's got that edge and competitiveness, and he's a very, very good teammate. And he has a big care factor in a short period of time for his team in Wisconsin. And you know, to this point, he's been a very solid kicker. He missed a short one and made a long one. So right now he's right in the middle of 500. Got to get better.
Was the operation okay on that?
It was fast. It was fast. Yeah, the operation was, and that's not to blame anybody, snapper, kicker, or holder, but those kids have been so precise and so money that it's crazy that you say that, because you hardly ever say, "Oh, don't kick it so fast." But in Jeff Jenick's mindset, the way he coaches them, the way his expectation levels are, I don't have those numbers. He just told me that that one was too quick.
You played college football back in the 80s. When hair was big.
Late 80s.
It's okay. All right, late 80s.
Just barely after mid, I guess. But
is there a head of hair that you can think of offhand that tops Vince Beagle's right now?
Mine did. Mine did. I tell him that all the time. He'll never catch me. I have hydrogen peroxide blonde streaks in mine, and I told him that, and he's like, "I'm not doing that." He might do the tips. He told me that. So yeah. But frosty tips, that doesn't fit Beagle. Rocky will be here in like 1 second. Not so fast.
Like the Baha's, you had the stripes
like yeah, unfortunately I did. Yeah, he does too now. He's got stripes cut in there.
Ask him
so
about his blonde wig.
Yeah.
Ask him about his blonde
Rocky
wig.
or Vince?
Vince.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I'll pull that one out.
You might not want to talk about it.
Do you remember what you were doing 9/11?
I do, absolutely. Never forget. We were preparing to play Air Force and defensive staff meeting room, and we found out about it and spent the rest of the day, you know, staring at the TVs, and we didn't have TVs in our offices, so I remember going to the film room and there was, whatever, 15 coaches crowded around a 20-inch TV looking at something that was, unbelievable and changed our lives forever. So they canceled the game that week, which was definitely the right thing to do, and it put us all in a very big funk, like I'm sure the rest of you that are old enough, you probably don't even remember. She's probably like 3.
I was in 10th grade.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, yeah.
Did you have a personal, know someone there?
I did not.
Personal connection?
I did not. No, absolutely. I didn't have any. But it was, we all know the tragedy it was, and we remember all those people. I'm sure we all do.
Gary, I know it's early, but are you seeing signs at Dave of the aggressiveness on defense leading to plays behind the line of scrimmage that you had hoped for?
Yeah, we have done that the first 2 games. I think the first game we had 9, if I remember right. I don't have the exact numbers on the last game, but we were making some numbers or some plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage, which we're going to have to, because we're not going to be a hang in there and grind it out type of defense. So that's a good thing. We're going to have to move forward with the aggression, and I like the packages, the way we're moving. I think Dave's doing a great job of calling it. Good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.